Good morning, everybody. So today we are going to move on to the last topic. Yep, last topic. Okay, as you can see over here. Okay, we are talking about the topic. Today is the 21st January. Okay, topic 4. This is our last one. Okay. So after that, we will spend more time to look at the questions. Those are exam questions and those kind of things. Okay, so let's move on. So as you know that this topic will be also one question, right? One question for this topic. But I think I overheard some of you say that, like especially like topic 3, you all find that the material very dry and then like very hard to understand, right? I would strongly recommend because the topic 3 that you all have the notes is actually an abstract from this textbook. So if you want to read further, you can go to copy and take a look at this book. There are many copies in the library. Okay, this one or this one. Recommend this one, Kochi. This looks very good. Okay. So now we're going to be quickly just wrapping up this topic. And I'll tell you, this topic on memory, right, is more important is the last part. Okay, where we talk about how we give you we'll tell you what is memory first, then we'll tell you how you design the memory addressing it. Okay, we will come to that. You will see what I mean later. Okay, especially the last part. The first part is quite theory and then some terminology that you need to so-called understand and know. Okay, so you can see that over here. Wait, Sarah, can sit down. Okay, okay, come up. So basically, for memory, right? Memory topic, okay, is about calculation, some calculation for memory. Okay, you know what's memory? You know what memory? Memory now is a thing that we use every day. Actually, you all don't know whether you're using. In fact, your phone, right? Everything is all memory. Your memory stick, your computer, your tablet, all you need memory. Okay, so to store things, like now if I do video recording, right, all these videos are being recorded, put it into a memory, right, where they store the information. Okay, so for example, a very simple computer system. This one you all may have seen it before. I'm not sure in your maybe MA or something, but long time ago probably. Okay, but simple arithmetic of a system in a computer will have comprise of the CPU, okay, the memory. Okay, and then others. But I tell you, the main thing is also the memory. Without memory, this computer is useless. Okay, you cannot store information. It's as good as useless. Okay, so computer is just a processing unit. Okay, you do all the arithmetic.
The memory is the ID.
Yes. Okay, it's a very important part of the system. Okay, just like our human brain. Because the last time I studied this topic on neuroscience and education, so I know a bit about the brain. So your brain side, you also need a memory. There's short-term memory and long-term, but I won't go into the detail. Short-term memory, long-term memory.
Just like psychology.
Huh? It's not psychology, it's the neuroscience, the brain, how it works. Okay. So you, for example, why have you asked yourself like memory, right? How come certain things you will remember very deeply, like your birth cert number? You sure know, right? Or your IC number? Because it's already ingrained into you. It's what we call LTP, long-term memory. Of course, there are things called short-term memory. Short-term for what? Because you don't register. Okay, it's just on the surface, short-term. Like sometimes maybe your friend, he probably give you your handphone number. For a while you remember, after next week you come back, I forgot, I don't know what is it. Right, have you experienced? But there are things that you sure remember, like your ATM PIN number. I'm sure, right? Right, your birthday, so you cannot forget one, die. Right, I starve you 3 days, after that you come back, you still remember because it's ingrained. Okay, those are what we call in the memory are like ROM. Okay, I'll explain to you what is this. Yeah, ROM and RAM. You all can probably see this figure, right? This picture is in your notes, you all can see. But this is just introductory, I tell you, just introductory, just to share with you. But later part, the memory design, that one more important. But good to know, okay? So if you see your memory, there are two main forms. One is called what's this page, Ruben? Page 5. Page 5 of the classification. Last time, your primary school, you also learn this classification, right? Last time in good old days, you all learn how to classify living things, non-living things, right? Those kind of things, when you were young, right? Okay. So, memory side, you have two types of memory. One is volatile, the other non-volatile. Volatile seems to be like a chemistry word. Seems to be it evaporate, correct. Like ethanol. Ethanol is a kind of chemical in the lab, a white color spirit. You open up the can, the thing will evaporate. I think you come back in a day later, the thing all got evaporated. Right? Because it's volatile, right? So think about it in this way. Volatile means that things can be erased or lost over time. Okay, if you don't handle it, then you will be evaporated, so-called inverted comma, lost. Short term. Okay, this is what I call short-term memory. Okay, volatile memory. RAM, random access memory, short term. Then you have this thing called non-volatile one. That means it kind of stays there for a long time. Like what I just explained to you, long-term memory. Right, you remember your password. Okay, you remember your birthday. Long-term. Short-term is this one, RAM. Long-term is ROM. Read-only memory. That means once you imprint or you burn it, it stays there. Right? It stays there until the thing get destroyed. Okay? So remember, two main types. Of course, under further classification, never mind, no need to know. No need to know so much. There's this thing called SRAM, DRAM. These are another type of further classification of the RAM memory. Okay, but DRAMs are now better, faster. A lot of those memory chip that you all use, right, like your Android. Now the speed very fast. I don't know what's the latest. Last time I used to have 24 times, and then now I don't know 36 times or something. You all know those micro SD card. They are different class one, okay, so just to share with you, those are now DRAM, very fast. Okay, in terms of the speed. So in between these two is mainly in terms of the speed, which one faster. Okay, ROM. Then of course under ROM there are many types. Further types. Okay, there are PROM, okay, programmable read-only memory, and then there are the EEPROM, electrical, something where you can burn it, okay, and so on, right? So just for your info, okay. Now for computer memory, okay, this one, okay, not much things here. Okay, so basically what I just explained is actually on the next page on your slide, right, where we talk about volatile and non-volatile. Okay, now the other key things about between volatile and non-volatile memory is the need for electrical power. Although when both of these memory chips are in operation, all of them need electrical power. But when you take away the electrical power, the content still stays, you see. Okay, for the case of non-volatile. Okay, once even you remove the electrical power, the memory has been stored. Okay, you can see it does not require electrical power to maintain. The keyword is to maintain the stored digital information. Right? But volatile, yes, once you switch off, gone. Right? So some bit of introduction and some. So far, if you look at the past exam question, I don't recall there are some of these theory questions. Maybe it's a short one. I can't remember. I doubt you need to memorize. Okay, so just for info. Okay, but it's good to know all these things. Then only you can later on do the design. Okay, so for the memory, further on, memory side for memory terminology. Okay, we often talk about read operation and write operation. You know, a bit like your MA, you all study MA, right? Microcontroller, you have read. You all call it what? Read. In MA, what do you call it? You all know? Oh yeah. Load and store, remember? Okay, load, then you read something like that. Okay, so but we have fetch operation, we have store operation. A bit like your LDAA, you know, load to register A. Okay, and so on. Okay, so basically you must read and write. Okay. very common. Then of course we also talk about access time, how fast the memory can be read. Okay. Now let's give you some more important stuff. Okay, slowly it's getting important. Now remember a memory cell, right? Okay, if I may to kind of scribble here. Okay, a memory cell, if you think about it, let's say if I draw a 4-bit system. Okay, I'll just tell you very simple one, simple analogy. Maybe it will help you understand. Okay, let's say if I have a 4-bit system. Okay, I'll call this D3, D2, D1, D0. Okay, now this side here is the address. Okay, now a memory must have address. Let's say address 0, address 1, okay, and so on. Okay, so depending on how many address lines you have, okay, let's say if I say, okay, I only have a 4 address line, I call it same thing like this, A3, A for address, okay, so I call it A3, A2 lines, that means A1, A0, right? Okay, there are 4 address lines. So A0, A1, A2, A3, I got 4 address lines. I got 4 D for data, okay? So this one is data, okay, address. Okay, very much like if you think about it, simply it's like your address that you stay in, your house, right? Many of us stay in HDB flats, okay? You have your address, you have your block number, right? Block, then after your unit number, then the so-called your unit. So in a way that in order to send you a letter, I need to know your address. Right? Obviously, right? If I don't have your address, I cannot talk to you. I mean, I cannot send you a letter, for example. So I need an address. Same for memory. So, and then of course the memory itself, okay, there's data lines. Okay, you have this data as well. Okay, so your address and data, these two key components. Okay, quite a simple concept, right? Okay, so now we talk about 1 byte. What's 1 byte? You all know what is 1 byte? 咬一口啊，not 咬一口。Okay, 1 byte. What's 1 byte? 1 byte. 咬一口啊，要 say in Chinese 咬一口 1 byte. 1 byte. 1 byte of your sandwich. No, not that kind of bite. So 1 byte is 8 bits. Okay, 1 byte means 8 data bits. And what is the smallest that we can represent is 1 bit, right? What is 1 bit? Yeah, 1 bit means what? Can be 0 or 1 only, right? Agree? 1 bit. So it's 0 or 1. So we cluttered here, 0 or 1. Logic 0, logic 1. That's called 1 bit, right? Okay, then of course there are 1 byte, which means that there are 8 bits. Okay? Now over here I got 4 bits of information. Okay, 4 bits, right? So in this case I can actually put 0 or 1 here, right? Let's say if I put 0, here's 1, 0, 1. Okay? So this is called a smallest unit, it's called a cell. Okay, you can see over here, we call it memory cell. Okay, so like here. Okay, now this is called a cell, a cell of memory. Okay, cell of memory means you contain a single bit. But this bit can be 0 or 1, right? But it's called a memory cell. Okay, we call it, according to the terminology here, it's called a memory cell. Okay, it's the smallest unit you can find. Right? Any of you watch last time the show Matrix? Remember that show? You all watch? No? This very futuristic show. Matrix, right? It's all the things that are kind of capture your there's a good impression on there. You all see those running zeros and ones falling down. Yeah, I think it will be nice next time. Wow, really, this one can be futuristic. Anything you want to learn, you just load to the memory, then you already have that. You want to learn about Kung Fu, load that inside. Cool. Yeah, that's futuristic. It's memory cell. So, okay, we talk about, I just explained what is 1 byte. 1 byte is 8 bits. Okay, then we talk about memory word. Okay, so we will come to that. Okay, so let's get some terminologies here. Okay, so 1 byte is 8 bits. Okay, I'm sure you can read, of course, but let me just try to help you. Okay, so so the word size of 8 bits. Okay, word size of 8 bits. Okay, word size of 1 byte. Okay, these are some terminologies. Okay,
what's word size?
Huh?
What's word size?
Word size. Okay, let's see. Okay, any memory word. Okay, it's just a word size means it's a group. Okay, a group of bits. Okay, it's a term. Later we'll see more example. What is the word size? It's a collection of number of bits. Okay. So let's say we will group them in. Let's say we instead of using like 16 bits, right? We say it's 2 bytes. Okay, so we say it's a word size of 2 bytes. You know what I mean? We are just like making it easier to represent. For example, if I don't tell you it's 1000 ohms, you know what I mean? I will tell you 1k ohm. You know what is it? You know what I mean? It's a collection, it's a grouping. Okay, I'll tell you. I won't say it's 1000 ohms. I won't tell. I say it's 10k. You understand, right? Okay, so it's just like a collection. So similarly, like this, if I tell you 16 bits, right? Instead of telling you 16 bits, I tell you 2 bytes. Okay, 2 bytes, 4 bytes. You understand what I mean, right? 2 bytes, 4 bytes. I won't tell you 16 bit, 32 bit, 64 bit. I won't tell you that. I'll just tell you 4 bytes. Okay, so that's the meaning. Right. Then we talk about capacity. Okay, capacity means how much bits can be stored in this memory. Okay, this is a good example here. If you look at my whiteboard here, right? Now, how many address lines are here? 4, right? Okay, so what is 4 address line? How many combinations can you get? 16. Okay, very good. 16, right? Okay, 16. So let me 16. Okay, good. 16. Okay. Now, so here you rightfully say that because here got 16. I mean, I should draw this way. Right. There are 16 combinations, right? Now, how many data bits are here? 4. 4, right? Okay. Now, so the idea of this capacity means I want to find out how many bits can this. Let's say this whole thing is a memory. Example. This thing is an example of a memory. Okay, memory chip. Okay, or memory map. Sometimes they call it memory map. Okay, this is a memory map. Now, how many bits? The capacity means, if you read carefully here, right? What it says is that the capacity means to tell us how many bits can be stored by this memory. So, what do you think?
2 bytes.
How many bits? This is 1 bit, right? 1 memory cell. Okay, 2, 3, 4. But how many are there? 16, right? Because there are 16. What you all say is correct. You rightfully say that there are 16 different combinations, right? Okay, so 16 by 16, right? How many cells can you store?
32.
Correct, 32. Is it 32? 16 times maybe no more than 32. 16, 16 rows, 16 columns. So it's actually not 32, 16 what? 16 times 16. Correct. 256, not 30, not 16. 16 here, right? But we are talking about capacity, means we are talking about individual cell, memory cell. So they are altogether 16 times 16. 16 column times 16 row. The capacity is 256, right? You say, 256 of these bits that you can store. That is called the capacity. Which one? What 4 bytes? Bits, I'm talking about bits here. 4 bits. I'm talking about bits here. I'm not putting bytes. You know, this one they can double up. Memory capacity can be more than 4 bits. They can come in the form of 18, okay, 16, 32. Okay, very large one. This is a very simple model. Okay. Yeah. 16 by 4 lah, not 16 by 16. 16 by 4. Sorry, 16 by 4 lah. 16 by 4. This is per bit. Sorry, 16 by 4. 16 by 4, not 16 by 16. Yeah, it's 16 because we thought it's 4 bytes. No, 16 by 4 sorry, 4 data lines. Just correction 16 by 4. 16 rows, 4 columns, right? Total number of bits is 16 by 4. Number of bits.
16 minus 4.
16 by 4, not 16 by 6, 16 by 6, 16 by 6. If provided if there's 16 bits, 2 bytes, 2 bytes 16 bits. Okay. This is half a byte only. 16 different combinations. This is called the addressing lines. Addressing line. Because I got 4, I give you an example of 4. 16 here by 4. 16 times 4. Correction. 16 by 4. Yes. Now, the thing here is that because this is, for example, 16 by 4, your address line is unique. Just like your house address is unique one. Only in the whole Singapore, only you got this address. You got this postal code, right? Nobody else. Right? Your postal code is unique one, only to your household. So same for address lines. Okay, each of these address must be unique because it doesn't make sense to have 2 same address, then 2 to go to.
Sure, is it 000 100?
Yes, same. I give you 4, that means it's a different combination. 0000. Your standard one, you know, the 4 bits. Yes. Yeah.
Then why is it not the same for you also?
The data bit can be anything. This one can be the memory cell, whatever is stored is a variable. You can store anything, right? You can store anything you want. Right? You can store different types of data, like 1111 or anything. But this one must be fixed.
So this is limited to whatever address is going to have.
Yes, correct. Your memory is limited by the address. That means that obviously the more address lines you have, it will mean that the capacity can be very large. Or the other way, I could have limited address, but my data bits is very long. You see the difference? Kind of. I can have an equivalent capacity. Yes, that means I can either fix my address lines, okay, then I double up the lines on the data here. You get me? This one is 64, right? Sorry, this one is 64, right? Am I right? 16 times 4, 64, right? This is 64, right? 64 bits, capacity, right? 64 bits. Right, because I got 16 address lines and I have 4 data lines. Okay. Okay, 16 and 16 by 4. Now, how to make 64 bit? Can I have another combination? I can have 8-bit address, right? Cannot. I can have, instead of 4-bit address, I can have a longer address, but then what do I do? Cut the data and slice into 3 how? No, the idea is very simple.
So no matter just how much time you get it, just get it out.
Correct. No, make it very clear. Okay. The idea is very simple. Your row times column, right? If I say I want a fixed capacity, I can design in a few ways. Right. First, I can either maybe make the address more, but the objective is that the row times the column must give me this. You see my point? The row times the column must give me that number. If this number is fixed, then how you design is up to you. Okay? You know what I mean? Number of rows, number of columns, right? Must times, when you multiply this times this, must give me the capacity. So that means you can see I can design in a few ways.
But the address line is 16 because of the 4 bits, right?
Huh?
For the address line.
Address line can be 4 lines.
So you just
Can be 8. Okay. So later you see you get a bit, you expand a bit more. This one can be varied. This one can be varied. Number of address lines can be changed. Okay, I think look at some example. You all can see better. Okay, now let's see. Okay, example here, right? Now it says that. Okay, I have this one example 409620 bits word. 20 bits. Okay, you already say 20 bits, right? So I know that my capacity here will be 4096 times 20. So the units of this is in the form of bits. Just like what I showed you 64. 4 by this one. Okay. Okay, so it depends. It depends on the number of addressing lines here. Okay, I can give you 16, I can give you 4, and so on. Okay. Now, so the other thing is that to explain is that there are some fixed numbers. For example, 1K, right? 1K is fixed as 1024. If you use your calculator to press, you don't use your calculator to key in. If you see 1K, right? 1K is 2 to the power of 10. This is fixed. This is fixed. 1K is not 1000. Please. In the world of memory, okay, 1K, right? It's not your engineering scientific. 1K means 1000. It's not. In the memory world, right? 1K means 1024. Okay, 2 to the power of 10. 2 to the power of 10. This one is fixed. Because this 10 here is referring to the number of address lines. It will be more clear later. Okay, so this one is fixed. 1K is 10 addressing lines, 2 to the power of 10, so it's 1024. Okay, then of course you have 1 meg. 1 meg is 2 to the power of 20. So 1 gig. Then after you have 1 gig. Okay, this one is fixed one. Fixed one.
Now, then 1 tera,
Huh?
2 about 40.
Correct. You just increment by a factor of 10. Okay, so for example, you see this one. Okay, let's say say certain semicon 2K times 8, right? 2K. What is 2K? So when you see this special what we call notation K, right? So we know that K means 1024. So I'll take 2 times 1024 to give me this 2048. Okay, and so on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, how many bits can it store? Okay. So 2048 times 8, 8 bits. So you can store this amount. Yeah. Bits are bits. That means how many memory bits you can store.
Divide by 8 is the byte.
Yes, correct. Divide by 8 is a byte. Okay.
Then you can just say it's 204.
Usually your memory is in the form of bits, bytes. You can classify as byte. Okay.
So how do you know the B is 8 bits?
Huh?
How do you know B is 8 bits?
That one is fixed.
Fixed. This one not fixed. Just remember this. That's why it says terminology. Memory terminology is fixed one. Okay. When the designer of this, right, they really prefix some of these things. So we standardize it. Like your memory, if I ask you your memory, or you tell me it's 4 gig, why you want to use some other thing? You will tell me, oh, my memory is 16 gig, right? Agree? 16 gigabytes. You will tell me, my computer or the RAM is 16 gig. Okay, it's fixed already, gigabytes. You won't tell me in bits, right? You tell me it's a standard terminology they're being used. Okay. So you can see another example. So you have a 5 meg. Okay, 5 meg. Usually is in 5. When you say 5 meg, we know there's 5 megabits. Okay. So 5M, okay, and so on. So you can see some of it. Okay, coming to the important part. Just now I explained the addressing lines. Okay, then we talk about the capacity, right? Okay, so these are something like that. Okay, because the reason why we say the word can be one word can be a byte, it can be two words, 16 bits. Okay, because one word could be imply 1 byte. 1 byte is 8 bits. Okay, or it can be 2 bytes. It will be 16 bits and so on. So something like that. Okay, address, then the word. Word means the data. Okay, the data. Okay, so a couple of more examples here. Okay, so let's say you have this, right? Let's say the memory capacity has this 8K by 16. So the 8K here refers to the memory, the addressing. 16 means 16 bits, 16 address lines for that case. Okay, so how many bits does each word contain? 16 bits. You always look at this one. You always give you memory in terms of something k times something. Okay, let's say 8k times 16. 16 means the number of column is 16. So it's 16 bits. See? Okay, but this one is the address. 8k refers to this addressing here, the address. Okay, so 8k means 8 times 1024, right? So I know that 8 times, if you take your calculator, why don't you try it? Pick up your calculator, 8k, 8 times 1024, you get this number, right? You get this number. But important for me, for us, right, is this factor, you know, because your addressing is based on base 2. So 2192, right, I know it's 2 to the power of 13. I know that I need 13 physical addresses, addressing lines. 13 physical lines, address lines. Okay, 13 physical lines. Okay. So if in order to calculate the capacity, I would take I remember I told you the rows, number of rows times the number of columns.
It's already the 2 about 13.
Yeah, you have to work backwards. You take ln. Take in log or ln. Log, inverse log. Inverse log.
Log the answer, still don't get it.
Can you get? Correct. So you are taking natural log, ln 2. Again, can you get 13? Yes. You take the. Can you find this? Can you work out how you get 13? Can you all of you? Yeah. So. So now that is very important because I need to know how many address lines. So you 8192, right, equals to these 2 unknown, right? Actually I want to find what's n. Right or not? So what you all take log, is it? Base 10 right? 8192, right? Take log on both sides. I mean, I'm showing you. Then what you all do? So basically, I bring the n down, right? I'm not really showing you the basic. Right? This one is n, not 2. I think you all know already. Right. Then what you all do? Yeah, so you not bring over. Do you get the exact 13? Yeah, 13, so it's fine. You shouldn't get some funny numbers.
Actually, is it always 2 to the power something? Like
Yes. Always 2 to the base 2. Okay, it's always a base 2. Base 2 lah, base 2. So whereas I take this time this, I'm getting the capacity, total number. I'm trying to find out how many bits I can store in the whole thing. This one I think you should know. Volatile memory will lose is true or false? Volatile, yeah. You will be lost once you lost the electrical power. Non-volatile will stay. Right?
It's true.
Yeah. Will lose its data when electrical power is interrupted. Volatile means can evaporate, remember? So it's true. Okay? This is the one. Okay, this is coming to the important thing. This one. Must adjust this one. Okay, this is important. This thing here. Now, basically, the idea just now, whatever I was sharing you was about this. Really. Okay. Now, for a memory chip, it will look something like this. Very typical. This is a very simple one. Okay, whereby I have 4 data lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I have address lines. Now, the reason why you need this data line, because remember this is a memory. I'm going to write to it. I need to supply him data, right? Agree? I need to supply to write to him. Okay. Now, this data line can be, it could be actually there are two. Okay, because the data can go into the memory, right? When you are trying to write, when you do a write operation, you write data into it, right? I also can do a read operation, right? Where I read off from the memory. So the data actually come out when you execute a read command. So you can see that this thing called O, right? O for output. I for input, digital input. So that means when you're writing to it, you put the data into the memory. When I read from it, I actually output this data out to the real world. Okay. Now, in order to access the memory, you need the addressing line. That's how I explained already. Okay. So, and then also for this memory chip, there is this thing called the read and this W bar. Any idea why is this so? I want to ask you. Why is it the memory must do this? Why is it there's a bar there?
Inverse.
Is
it inverse?
Yeah, what does it tell you? If I show you this R with a W bar above it, what does it mean? What does it tell you?
Is it inverse?
Yes, it is. It's like an inverter, right? If you recall your. So right? What does it mean? What does it tell you?
Actually, it means inverse.
But it's on the same line, you know.
It means inverse.
Logic 0 is right.
It means inverse reading.
Logic 0 is right.
You see this thing, right? You see this memory, right? You see just now this picture here. Right, I have this RW, right?
So logic 0 is right.
Yeah, what does it mean? It's on the same line. That means there are two states, right? It's a two state, like what you say, correct? Because the logic 1, if it's logic 1, it is the read state. Okay, and with this bar here, it means it's logic 0, right? Okay, when you are in logic 0, you write. Okay, simple, simple. Because it's one single line, so you have only two states, high or low. Logic 1 or logic 0. If it's logic 0, you are telling the memory, hey, I'm going to write into you. Okay, if I put logic 1, it means I'm going to read from you.
Why?
Huh? Why? No, you need to specify what this memory can what do you call? What you want the function of this to do. It's either to read or write.
So the 1 and 0 is fixed.
It's up to the computer, because don't forget this memory, right, is interfaced to a computer. Okay, it is interfaced to usually a processor. Okay, maybe your phone. Okay, there's a processor, your Android or whatever, iOS. Okay, so in order to read from it, you must issue a command to the chip. Okay, this line is maybe to address Ruben. This line is really for the processor to communicate with the memory chip. You must tell him, okay, whether I want to read or I want to write. Okay, for the processor to talk to this thing. Because this fella cannot work independently. This must be integrated with the other peripherals, CPU and stuff. So whenever the CPU issue a high state, okay, you are telling the memory to get ready. Hey, I've got a signal from the CPU, logic high here. I know he's going to read from my memory, so I get ready to provide some information. Oh, you understand? Hey, don't forget, this memory itself is not a dummy memory, you know. Besides being a memory, there is also a controller. There must be a controller somewhere inside. Secondary controller, not the main. Main is CPU, right? You have a secondary memory controller there to await instruction. Okay, this fella is not just a pure memory in the real world. There is a controller one inside. Okay. Now then also there's this thing called ME. ME is not mechanical engineering, but it's a memory enable. I can actually disable the memory. Okay, how to disable the memory? What logic do I provide?
0.
0. I think you all can see very clearly because there's no bar here, right? So if I supply a logic 0, to this, I will disable this chip. No matter whether you read or write, this memory kind of being disabled, put to sleep in a way. Okay, because it's, by this is a very important pin, memory enable. If you supply a ground to this memory will forever sleep. Cannot wake up. You understand?
Unless you put 0 to erase the memory.
No, not to erase. No. Maybe clarify. It's not to erase the memory. It's to whether to wake him up or let him sleep. The memory is still there. Okay, the content is still there. It's whether he wake up or he sleep. It's like switching. Let's say if I'm in, yes, it's like for example, memory could be for RAM and ROM. Okay, it's just like in this room, right? I switch off the light. All of you are still active, right? You're still inside, but you all cannot go out, right? Maybe for example, because the light is off, you're still within the room. For example, you all don't know where the entrance is. For example, so when I switch on the light, it's like enable this thing, or you all know where to go. Okay, so something like that. So ME is to memory enable. It doesn't erase the memory, but it just disable the chip. Okay, so whenever, in order to use the memory, I have to put a logic high here. Because this is the like a master in a way. If you disable this thing, I don't care what inputs you put here or here, whatever, it will have no effect. The memory cannot function. Okay, until you enable it. Okay, you understand what I mean? If your memory is being disabled, okay, then you put the signal here, high or low, this thing cannot work.
Does that mean one means you release the memory?
Yes, if you put a logic 1 to the memory enable, this chip wake up. Okay, he wakes up and then he takes instruction. Okay, I'm ready. Tell me whether you want to read or write. So then he takes another instruction. Maybe you will send a logic 1 here again. This thing will do a read operation. Get ready to read operation from internally.
Yeah, the switching on and off.
Kind of lah. Okay, you think about it. Yes, it's kind of like a switching on and off. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Any question so far? Quite dry, but no choice. The topic is the exam question, right? We ask you to design this. Wait, careful. Design the addressing line. Okay, I come to that. No, just showing you this one, right? See, I'm just showing you an example lah. Okay, for example, I have this number of address. A for, remember, the memory word A refers to address line. D is data. Okay? Alright, so this one is just to showing you the different combination of the addresses I can provide. Remember, address and data is different. Address means I know the location. Where is it? You just specify the location. Just think about it, your address. Again, I told you already. Your HDB, we stay HDB flat, we have an address. The address is unique. Remember, address is unique. Address must be unique. Cannot have two duplicate address. No way. Singapore, your whoever is in charge of the registrar, right? Cannot make that kind of mistake. Can have two address, but different place. This cannot be, right? Cannot be done in that way. Okay, address. Every individual place has a unique address. Okay, unique. Okay, so this one is unique.
Like the same data.
Your data can be anything. Okay, put it there. Your data, whatever you put in, we don't care. You can put in anything. Okay, but your address must be unique. Like just imagine you all live in different houses, right? Whatever furniture you put in, does government care? Government don't care. Right. Alright, I don't care whether you got 3 TV at home or 5 TV or, or 5 fridges. I don't care, right? Government don't care. The government want to know only your address. Okay, your address and my address is different. So that if anything happen, I got your address, I can come to you or you can come to me. I can look for you. Okay? So what is showing here is individual memory cell. So what does this contain? Can I ask you? Inside this cell, what does it contain? 0 or 1 only, remember. This one is one tiny smallest cell, it's like an atom. The smallest element, okay, atom. Okay, this one is only contains 0 or 1. Nothing else. Okay? So furthering on, okay, so for example, then they start to talk about different location. This one is quite clear, I think. If you have 5 address lines, let's say A4 to A0, then you can have 32 different combinations. Okay, and so on, right? So the more address lines you have, the more combinations you, that means it's a longer memory map. Okay, so I just explained to you about the read-write control, right? Just now I told you read and write, okay, and so on. Oh, right, so when it's logic 1, you're doing a read, logic 0, you do a write. There's no in-between, there's no in-between. It's either you read or you write, okay? But most of the time is read. Most of your time, your memory is in the read state, safer. Why? Because you want to put the memory into a write state, you can accidentally write something corrupted into the memory, which you don't want, right? If you are in read, you are quite safe, right? You just read off from the memory. It's quite safe, okay? Or you can, of course, disable the chip. Okay? This one I show you, active high. That's how you all correctly pointed out. Speaker, right? You say active high. Memory enable. Active high, okay, to activate the memory. It does not erase the memory, it just enables it and wakes it up. Okay, for the ME. Okay. Now I think a couple of other few examples. I think if you basically you all can read through, but then maybe just go through you quickly. Okay, let's say 4K times 8. I know there are 8 data lines. This 8, 8 refers to this one, 4K times 8. What does 8 mean? I'm just trying to pull back to this one. 8, when you see 4K times 8, right? 8 means that you got 8 data lines. Okay, that means for this case, if it's 8, that means you have 8. From A0 to A7, 8 data lines. You understand? 4K times 8, right? 8. The 8 means 8 data lines. So you have 8 data inputs. Can you have 7 output? It cannot be, must be equal number. Right? Whatever input you have, you must have the same number. You have 4 input, you have 4 output. You have 8 input, you have 8 corresponding output. It must be the same, right? It has to be the same. So coming back to here, 4K times 8. So the question is how many data inputs and outputs? Obviously is 8, right? Okay? 8 inputs, 8 output lines. 8 IOs. We call it IOs in short. Yes.
So can you repeat just now? One thing must be the same.
The input and output must be the same.
Oh, okay.
The data lines.
So then how many you count? How many you doing? How many must count?
Of course, I told you. If not later, how to balance? 4, if it's 8 input, there must be 8 output. Data line. Okay? So that you can write. This data line is for you to write the log 0 and 1 into the memory cell. Okay? Now 4K, this is the one. Okay, 4K, right? 4K means what? 4K means 4 times 1024. There are 4096 words or addresses. Okay, which then translate. Now again, 4K, right? 4096. You have to do that computation. God, 4096. Actually, it's quite a fixed one. After a while, you
log 4096 divided by log 2.
Yeah, do the same thing. Actually, what we are trying to find is the n. To find the the number of address lines. So do the same thing. Okay, so what you do is your n will be this, right? But after a while, you will realize that you straight away know the number. You will straight away know what n. Okay, 11. Okay, yeah, 12. Right? It's quite standard one, right? It's either you can actually try so called you can actually try. Of course, I can put 2 to the power of 10 equal to what? 2 to the power of 11. You can. There's a bit of a because it's fixed, You cannot have half a line. No such thing, right? No such thing. 10 line, 11 line, 12 line, 14 line, or 16 address. No. That's why when we good question, actually good question. That's why when the memory fellas, when they make this thing, they actually fix already. They tell you it's 1024. Why don't 1027? Why? Because they already know, they fix it already. The reason why they fix it was because of the addressing line. You cannot have half an addressing line. N means is the 12 address lines. There's no such thing as half lines. No such thing. This is physical one, you know. In the memory itself, there's physical number of lines. You cannot have half one.
So the only possibility is 2K, 4K,
Yeah, right. So you basically you wrap you up, correct? So you can be 12 address line, 13, and whatever. See what I mean?
Actually, you only come across key only the income mega, right?
Huh? We will normally give you up to K lah. We won't be so nasty lah. You cannot how to design and all that. No. Okay, we will give you up to K. You can understand K. Rest is no problem. So we know that they need 12 lines. So for this case, if I were to draw, right? Okay, what I would know, okay, since you say from here, right? We know that if I were to draw the memory, for example, 4K times 8, right? This is what I would visualize for you to. Okay, agree? So what does this blue arrow means? This one is what? Data input. Okay, be precise. This is your data output. Okay, there are 8 lines here. Here to here. 8. Alright? Okay, now how many address lines here? I can't draw, that one is too many. Now, I'll put dot. How many? That's not how many? 12. Yes. Okay, so there will be 12 address lines. Okay, cannot draw, but I just put dot. 12. To here to here. Yeah, 12. Is that clear? For this one? 4K is given. 4K is given to you. So I need to take the 4 times 1024.
Oh, teacher, the 4K is not the address line.
No.
4K
4K is the capacity.
The bits.
The
capacity.
I ask you, it's 2 to the power 12, right? Address lines.
Huh?
It's 2 to the power 12, right? Address lines.
2 to the power 12. Yeah.
Can I be 12, right? Because there's 12 is number. I mean, this
Yeah.
is 2 to the power 12, is right?
4K memory. Address line is 12.
Not 2 to the power 12.
Yeah, some terminology you have to get used to it. But I think if you understand this 4K times 12, I just draw. I think maybe you have an idea.
What have I said?
2 to the power 12
Yeah.
is the address.
Okay.
So, Siwon, just to explain, 2 to the power 12 is the 12, right? Is the physical number of physical lines. You know what's physical line? Physical wires for the memory. But this 2 to the power 12 can give you this combination, 4000 over, if you like, 4000 over rows. 12 is very big, you know? 12 physical line, 4000 over combination.
So 4, 6 times 8.
Is the capacity. Yeah, so try to take a look at some of the other parts that take some time, slowly. Okay, so of course 16 meg, wow, 24. This one is fixed one, right?
So you make it here.
It's just an example, 16 meg. So 16 meg means I need 24 address lines. But because they say times 12, right? 12 means 12 data pins. So you have 12 pins in, 12 pins going out. Okay, 16 by 12. I think the word one is confusing. That one you all get confused. The word, yeah. Okay, I understand.
Pause first.